There are movie moments that never fade, no matter how many years pass. And when we talk about timeless scenes, one moment shines brighter than most: the unforgettable necklace scene from Pretty Woman. It wasn't just a scene in a film. It became a piece of cinema history, an unscripted spark of magic that turned into one of the most replayed and talked about romantic gestures in Hollywood. Now, more than 3 decades later, Pretty Woman 2, 2025, is bringing back that magic in ways that have fans buzzing with excitement. But before we dive into what's coming, let's go back to where it all began. Asterisk, back in 1990, Pretty Woman introduced us to the unlikely love story between wealthy businessman Edward Lewis, played by Richard Gere, and free-spirited Vivian Ward, brought to life by Julia Roberts. Their chemistry was electric, and while the movie gave us many iconic moments, nothing stood out more than the scene with the sparkling diamond necklace. It was supposed to be a simple exchange. Edward presents Vivian with the priceless necklace to wear for their evening out. But what happened next was pure magic. As Vivian reached for the necklace, Edward playfully snapped the jewelry case shut, catching her by surprise. Julia Roberts burst into a laugh, an honest, unplanned laugh that wasn't written in the script. That reaction was so real, so full of joy, that the director decided to keep it in the final cut. And just like that, a single moment of spontaneity turned into one of the most memorable romantic gestures ever captured on screen. Fans around the world fell in love, not only with Vivian and Edward, but with that genuine spark of human connection. What made the scene so powerful wasn't just the expensive diamonds or the glamorous setting. It was the laughter, the kind of laughter that feels alive, unguarded, and contagious. It made Vivian's character more relatable, showing that even in the world of wealth and elegance, she remained true to herself. For Edward, the playful gesture softened his otherwise serious character, hinting at the tenderness and fun beneath his sharp businessman persona. In just a few seconds, the scene captured the heart of their relationship. Two very different people, finding magic in each other's company. Over the years, that necklace snap became more than just a movie clip. It turned into a symbol of love stories that feel both grand and genuine. People quoted it, parodied it, and even recreated it in their own way. From television comedies to commercials, the moment has been referenced countless times, proving its lasting place in pop culture. Julia Roberts' radiant laugh became one of the most famous images in Hollywood history. And to this day, fans can't think of Pretty Woman without instantly recalling the necklace scene. The reason it resonates so strongly is simple: it wasn't acting, it was real. That laugh reminded everyone that love, at its best, is unscripted. It's not about perfect lines or carefully planned gestures. It's about surprises, authenticity, and those little sparks that happen when you least expect them. That's why this scene has never lost its charm. It feels just as fresh today as it did in 1990. And now, with Pretty Woman 2 on the horizon, audiences are asking one big question: will the sequel honor this magical moment? Will we see a new necklace scene that captures the same lightning in a bottle? Or will the filmmakers surprise us with something entirely unexpected? One thing is certain: this scene set the bar high, and fans are ready to see how the sequel will rise to the challenge. Asterisk, when we talk about unforgettable movie moments, very few reach the level of the necklace scene in Pretty Woman. What makes it so unique is that it wasn't planned. It was an accident that became art. That single playful snap of the jewelry box showed us something rare in Hollywood: an authentic, human reaction caught on camera. Julia Roberts' laughter was so pure, so natural, that it didn't feel like acting. It felt like we, the audience, had been invited into a private, unscripted moment between two people who truly connected. This authenticity is why the scene became larger than the movie itself. Fans weren't just watching Vivian and Edward. They were watching Julia Roberts and Richard Gere have a genuine spark of fun. That tiny laugh opened the door to emotions every viewer could relate to: the joy of being surprised, the warmth of being seen, the giddy feeling of a new romance. It was like catching lightning in a bottle, and that energy lit up the entire film. Over the years, The necklace scene has been endlessly referenced, parodied, and celebrated. TV shows from Friends to The Simpsons have echoed it, commercials have recreated it, and even social media memes keep it alive for new generations. It's not just about the jewelry or the wealth it symbolized. It's about the laughter, the charm, and the reminder that love stories don't always need grand speeches. Sometimes all it takes is a playful surprise. The cultural impact of that moment is hard to overstate. Julia Roberts' smile and laugh became one of the most replayed clips in movie history. Even people who haven't seen the entire film instantly recognize the scene when shown a still image of Julia Roberts in that glamorous red dress, laughing as the jewelry box snaps shut. It became part of Hollywood's romantic language, a shorthand for joy, romance, and unexpected magic. Another reason the scene has lasted so long is its emotional timing within the movie. Up until that point, Vivian had been adjusting to a world that didn't quite accept her. She felt out of place in high society, constantly reminded that she didn't belong. But in that moment with Edward, the walls came down. Her laughter wasn't just funny, it was freeing. It told the audience that Vivian could still be herself, even while wearing diamonds worth a fortune. For Edward, it revealed that his cold, businesslike world could be softened by genuine human connection. Together, that laughter symbolized the heart of their relationship, the blending of two very different worlds through love. The scene also shaped the way audiences remembered Pretty Woman as a whole. Without it, the film might have still been a success, but it was that playful gesture that gave it soul. It's often said that movies are remembered not for their plots but for their moments, and this was the moment. It captured the fairy tale essence of the movie, a Cinderella story with a twist of humor and warmth. Critics, too, often cite the necklace scene as the turning point that elevated Julia Roberts from a rising actress to Hollywood royalty. Her genuine laugh became iconic, symbolizing her charm and authenticity. This scene wasn't just a highlight of the film, it became part of Julia Roberts' career legacy. Even decades later, when people talk about her best roles, that necklace laugh always finds its way into the conversation. The staying power of the scene lies in its simplicity. It wasn't a grand set piece with explosions or heavy dialogue. It was just a box, a necklace, and a laugh. But simplicity is often the hardest thing to achieve in cinema. The fact that something so small became so legendary proves the magic of Pretty Woman. It's why fans have been holding on to this memory for over 30 years. And now, as Pretty Woman 2 2025 approaches, fans are looking at this scene as a measuring stick. Can the sequel recreate that same kind of magic? Or is it better to honor the original moment without trying to outdo it? Either way, one thing is clear. The necklace scene set a standard for romance on screen that few films have ever matched. It became more than a scene, it became a piece of pop culture history. The announcement of Pretty Woman 2 has sparked endless speculation. But the one question echoing louder than the rest is simple: what will happen with the necklace scene? Fans can't imagine a sequel without it. Yet they also know the filmmakers face a nearly impossible challenge. How do you honor a moment that has become untouchable while still creating something new and exciting for a 2025 audience? From the information circulating online and hints dropped in interviews, it seems the creative team behind the sequel is approaching this moment with care. They understand that the necklace scene isn't just another romantic gesture. It's the heart of the original film's charm. That's why insiders suggest the sequel will feature a deliberate callback, a scene that echoes the original, but with its own twist to reflect the growth of the characters and the passage of time. One possibility is that the necklace scene won't be a direct copy, but rather a reimagining. Instead of focusing only on wealth and glamour, the sequel might use the scene to highlight how love evolves beyond first impressions. If Pretty Woman was about the magic of unexpected romance, then Pretty Woman 2 could be about rediscovering that magic years later, proving that the spark doesn't fade even after time, challenges, and change. Imagine a moment where Edward and Vivian, older, wiser, yet still deeply connected, share a playful surprise that mirrors the necklace snap. reminding fans that true romance never loses its laughter. There's also speculation that the sequel might introduce a new generation of characters. Some fans believe that Edward and Vivian's children, or younger relatives, could be at the center of the story. If that's the case, then the necklace scene could be passed down like a tradition, a symbolic gesture showing that love and playfulness run in the family. A younger couple might experience their own version of the moment, giving modern audiences a fresh take while still honoring the original magic. This would allow the scene to be both nostalgic and brand new at the same time. Another intriguing possibility is that the sequel flips the moment on its head. Instead of Edward teasing Vivian with the necklace, perhaps Vivian now takes the lead, snapping the box shut on Edward or even someone else, turning the iconic gesture into a symbol of empowerment. This would fit perfectly with how modern romantic films emphasize strong, confident women who are more than just princesses waiting to be swept away. By letting Vivian reclaim the scene in her own way, Pretty Woman 2 could send a powerful message about how love stories evolve with time and changing perspectives. What we know for sure is that the filmmakers have an eye on fan expectations. They can't simply ignore the necklace scene. It's too beloved, too ingrained in the DNA of the franchise. But they also can't repeat it frame for frame without risking disappointment. Audiences don't just want nostalgia. They want a story that respects the past while still feeling alive in the present. That's the delicate balance the sequel must strike. And when you think about it, that challenge is exactly what makes this sequel so fascinating. Pretty Woman was a story about opposites finding harmony. The sequel now faces its own version of that struggle, balancing the weight of history with the need for something new. The necklace scene is the perfect symbol of that balance. It was never about the necklace itself. It was about joy, surprise, and authenticity. If Pretty Woman 2 can capture that same spirit, then it doesn't matter whether the necklace looks different, the gesture is reversed, or the moment is shared by a new couple. What matters is that the audience feels the same spark they did in 1990. So as we look ahead to Pretty Woman 2, 2025, the necklace scene stands as both a challenge and an opportunity. It's the bridge that connects the old with the new, the past with the present. And whether it comes as a playful echo, a bold reinvention, or a heartfelt surprise, one thing is certain: the moment will not be forgotten. Fans around the world are waiting to see if lightning can strike twice, and if the necklace box will snap shut once again, this time carrying with it 3 decades of love, nostalgia, and cinematic magic. Asterisk, when a sequel to a film as iconic as Pretty Woman is announced, the spotlight doesn't just shine on the story, it also burns brightly behind the cameras. Fans are eager for every scrap of information, every leaked photo, and every whispered detail from the set. And with Pretty Woman 2, 2025, the buzz is centered on one question: how are they handling the legendary necklace scene? Even though the studio has kept official details tightly under wraps, small hints have made their way to the public. In interviews, members of the production team have slyly smiled when asked about the necklace, refusing to give a direct answer but dropping clues that it will be revisited in a way that fans won't see coming. These teasers have only added fuel to the fire, sparking endless theories across fan forums and social media platforms. One rumor that gained traction came from leaked set photos showing Julia Roberts in a glamorous gown alongside Richard Gere in a tuxedo. Observers immediately noticed a velvet jewelry case in Gere's hand, almost identical to the one from the original film. Was this proof that the necklace snap was being recreated? Or was it simply a deliberate red herring, a playful nod designed to mislead fans? The debate continues, with some insisting it's confirmation of a direct homage, and others arguing that the filmmakers are setting us up for a clever twist. Beyond speculation, there have also been whispers from extras and crew members who claim the energy on set felt very much like the original film's spirit. According to one source, Roberts and Gere were spotted laughing between takes, suggesting that the chemistry that defined them in 1990 has not faded over the years. If true, this could mean that the necklace scene, whether new or reimagined, will once again be driven by genuine emotion, not just scripted lines. Fan theories have exploded across the internet, each one trying to predict how the scene will play out. Some believe that the sequel will show Edward presenting the necklace to Vivian again, but instead of the playful snap, Vivian might close the box herself, laughing at Edward in return. This would turn the moment into a shared memory between the two characters, symbolizing the way relationships evolve from surprise into companionship. Others speculate that the necklace will play a deeper role in the sequel's plot, perhaps as a gift passed down, an heirloom that represents the endurance of love across time. Another fascinating theory suggests that the necklace scene may not be about romance at all, but rather about empowerment. In a modern retelling, Vivian could refuse the necklace at first, showing that she no longer needs jewels to validate her worth. The gesture then wouldn't be about wealth or luxury, but about choice and independence. This kind of reinterpretation would reflect how much society and Hollywood storytelling has changed since 1990. It would honor the original while also speaking directly to today's audiences. Behind the camera, the creative team has also been hinting that they are blending nostalgia with reinvention. The director, in a recent magazine feature, described the sequel as a love letter to fans, but also a conversation with a new generation. That statement suggests that while the iconic necklace moment will be acknowledged, it won't be a carbon copy. Instead, it will serve as a bridge, something that ties the old story to the new, while surprising viewers with a fresh angle. Of course, secrecy only adds to the hype. The fact that no full details have leaked yet shows how carefully the production is guarding this moment. They know it's the centerpiece of audience anticipation, and revealing it too early would ruin the impact. Much like the original laugh that caught audiences off guard, the sequel seems determined to give fans an experience that feels unexpected and alive. As filming wrapped, insiders reported that the cast and crew shared emotional reactions during key romantic scenes. If those whispers are true, it could mean that Pretty Woman 2 has captured something very special once again. The laughter, the sparkle, and the heart of the original might just return in a new form, something powerful enough to make audiences smile, gasp, and maybe even shed a tear. In the end, the behind-the-scenes mystery is part of the fun. The necklace scene isn't just a detail from a script, it's the beating heart of fan speculation, the centerpiece of every rumor, and the focus of endless online debates. By keeping it hidden, the filmmakers have ensured that anticipation will only grow stronger as the release date approaches. Whether the box snaps shut with a laugh, a twist, or a tear, one thing is certain: audiences around the world will be holding their breath, waiting for the moment when the necklace reappears on screen.